Hello and welcome. Very good afternoon. You're watching Mirror Now. I am Afrida Rahman Ali. Here are some breaking news coming in at this hour. Hearing on the plea against farmers' blockade is underway in the Supreme Court. Supreme Court says it recognizes the farmers' right to protest against a law, but we are making it clear this right, though can't be curtailed, must not infringe upon the fundamental right of other citizens, which could include free movement and getting essential food supplies. So that is the observation made by the top court, that it will only decide on the right of citizens to move freely. As of now, it is not going to look into the aspect of the validity of the farm laws. Meenakshi joining me on the phone line. Meenakshi, if you can bring us up to speed with the observations made by the top court on day 2 of the hearing against the farmers' protest. I believe there is a very significant point about free movement and the right of citizens for free movement being highlighted by the top court.
Well, that's right. A very significant hearing underway where the Chief Justice of India has gone ahead and made some very pertinent observations. He went on to state, and I quote, we acknowledge that farmers have a right to protest and we will not interfere with it. We will look into the manner of the protest. We will ask Centre what is the manner of protest that is going on and ensure that citizens' rights are not violated, unquote. That is one part of the observations. On the other hand, we have Mr. Harish Salve. He is batting solidly against the farmers' protest. Our viewers will recall yesterday, on 3 occasions, the solicitor had sought for Mr. Salve to join the proceedings. That request was not granted. However, today Mr. Salve is submitting in the Supreme Court and he's speaking against the farmers' protest. He's going on to state as to how there is an increased risk of COVID infection spread by coming in droves of protesters, and this is against right to life. He's furthermore stating as to how this is causing escalation in price of fruits and vegetables, which oftentimes are brought to Delhi from outside other neighboring states. And he's also citing before the Supreme Court as to how the protest cannot hold a city to ransom. Either government agrees or we will stop the city. Policy cannot be the approach, according to Mr. Harish Salve. But significantly, again, the Chief Justice of India is pointing towards the setting up of an independent committee to give its opinions for all the parties involved to follow. He's saying very clearly, the Chief Justice of India, as to how the protests have to be kept non-violent and there has to be no stopping of movement for the other citizens.
Right. Meenakshi, also, is it true that the top court has made it clear that insofar as the validity of the farm laws are concerned, that is an aspect that the Supreme Court is not going to venture into at the moment? It's purely only looking at the plea that pertains to free movement of citizens and availability of essential supplies, not really going in or delving in any way into the farm laws aspect per se?
You see, there were a bunch of petitions that came up for hearing today, and the first set of petitions were dealing with the challenge to the validity of the farm laws. So on that issue, the Chief Justice of India has made his mind very clear, saying that at this juncture, the Supreme Court will be not venturing into the area of the validity of the farm laws, whether the passage of the farm laws, as was passed by both houses of Parliament, was a valid passage or not. That constitutional validity challenge will not be looked into by the Supreme Court of India at this juncture. For today, and the purpose of this hearing, the Supreme Court is limiting itself to the farmers' agitation and the various other issues arising out of the farmers' agitation, Afrida. And as we speak, there is another important observation coming in where the Chief Justice of India is saying, and I quote, we are thinking of setting up a committee of agricultural experts who will give a report on the issue. So that is what was indicated yesterday also by the Supreme Court, and today that can be brought to its logical conclusion.
Okay, that's important. The top court does recognize the fundamental right to protest against the law, but the protest should not in any way infringe upon the right to life, which Meenakshi was explaining to us. Thanks very much for the latest, Meenakshi.